Hi, welcome to AwkwardHamster. Today I'll be reviewing this TerraMaster F2-NAS server. So TerraMaster did provide me this unit for review, and it came diskless. So what that meant is that I got to provide my own hard drives. So I got two Seagate Barracudas. They were 2 terabytes each. I set them up in a RAID 1. With the 2 terabyte set up in a RAID 1, I got about 1.8 terabyte of usable storage. I made a video on how I set it up. And initially I started off on a Mac computer, but then I moved to Windows because I encountered issues on a Mac. So I'll go over the pros and cons between Windows and Mac as well, and also go over some speed test results too. Here I'm going to perform a quick speed test. Let's first kick off a test using a software called LAN speed test. I'm going to pick the TNAS and just navigate to one of the folders I created. Open, I'm going to start the test, and file size is 20. So while this is going on, I'm just to mention that I picked this software because this one I was able to find for both Windows and iOS or Macintosh computers. And typically I use the Blackmagic disk speed test, but I was not able to find a Windows version for it, so some might not compare that as apples to apples. With the LAN speed test, I did a comparison between this one and Blackmagic on the Mac side, and it was comparable. So let's let this keep on going. You'll notice that it is slow, and I'll talk about that soon. My Mac operating system is OS X Yosemite version 10.10.2, and the Mac itself is the MacBook Pro with Retina 50-inch, late 2013. Alright, so my upload rate is about 2.9, download rate is 37 megabits per second. And well, let me just pause this for a sec, and I'll be conducting this test again on Windows operating system. So this is a Windows 7 computer, and right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map my NAS folder, the TNAS, to a T drive, and hit finish. And we'll close this, launch the LAN speed test. Here I'm going to specify T, and start the test. Also choose 20 megabytes. And notice how much faster it is. My router at home is 802.11n router, so it's significantly faster than the Mac. Accessing your media content on the TerraMaster is very simple. You don't have to use the software they mentioned in the manual, which is Ace Player. You can use what you prefer. For me, I personally prefer a File Explorer. With Ace Player, there's a paid version, there's also a free version. Let me just quickly demonstrate Ace Player. It's Windows Samba and access the TerraMaster. And so here is a video file. Everything you see here is what I would counter with this app. You notice how the video is choppy, and okay, that's enough of that. Now what I prefer is File Explorer. There's a full version you have to pay for. There's also a free version. Navigate to the same folder again. So here I'm going to launch the this video is from my recent trip to Europe, and hit play. It's March 22nd, 2015, and this is the Blue Lagoon. Alright, so you notice how the video was a lot smoother, and the audio was a lot smoother too. So basically my point is, you can use any app you're comfortable with to access the TerraMaster. So the TerraMaster is very Windows operating system friendly. It's not Mac friendly, and during my installation video I kept it in where the part where I was trying to troubleshoot why I just couldn't get it to work on my Mac. And on the website, I downloaded a number of their versions of the T-Cloud client, version 2.0, the 2.508, and 2.511. Went to a number of locations, and it seems like it's not really consistent on their, even on their own website. What's the newest version out there? Either case, none of these versions, none of these 3 versions worked. But once I booted up my Windows computer and launched the T-Cloud client on Windows computer, right away I was able to access, where I was able to find the T-Cloud client. I did encounter an issue during initial setup where it populated the wrong subnet mask, even when I picked DHCP, used the dynamic IP from the router. The workaround is to use a static IP, or if you're on a Windows computer, you can still use DHCP, but once you launch a T-Cloud client, it will realize that it made a mistake and ask you and allow you to correct it. Once everything was loaded, this product was very simple to use, very straightforward. It offered a number of ways to monitor your apps. It came with a lot of popular apps. There's not a way to download additional apps. It's not like they have an app store, but all the popular ones such as Samba, DLNA, they're using Apache, FTP server, it's all here. And as I demonstrated earlier, the speed is good too. If you're on a Windows computer, it's actually pretty decent for one of these budget NAS units. On a Mac computer, the download speed and the upload speed vary greatly. So how would I rate this unit? I'm going to split it up into two different types of reviews. One from a Mac perspective, other one from a Windows perspective. So from a Mac perspective, maybe like a 2.5 out of 5. That's because the client software is pretty poor. The speed performance is poor. Now from a Windows side, the client works well. The performance is good. And you have very little hiccup other than the ones I mentioned earlier. And so with that, on Windows side, I'll give it like roughly a 4 out of 5. I think the biggest driving force behind this is that this NAS only costs $100. So it's a 2-bay NAS. You can either set up as a RAID 0 or RAID 1. And it's very affordable. It's only $100. So if you're a Windows user and you need an Apache server, web server, an iTunes server, well, I think this will suit your needs. I hope you found this review of the TerraMaster F2-NAS2 useful. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to contact me. TerraMaster did provide this unit for review. Thanks for watching AwkwardHamster. Bye.